So Ti actually, this is in a publication. I don't know much about this publication, but it's called rollcall.com. And basically, a brother by the name of Clyde McGrady, Clyde McGrady, wrote an article about Ti saying that he wants to create the Avengers for Black investment. The article says, but Harris wants to use the tragedy of Nipsey Hussle. I was going to say Nipsey Russell because that's where the name came from, in case y'all didn't know. He wants to use the tragedy as an opportunity to push for more investment in Black communities, a passion he shares with his late friend. Quote, he says, we're like the Avengers of investing. And then he says that losing Nipsey Hussle was like losing Iron Man. So they appeared on Capitol Hill along with Charlemagne the God, another brother that I've talked to a lot and I respect. Flanked by House lawmakers, including Antonio Delgado, Karen Bass, and Hakeem Jeffries. Harris discussed how investors could steer more dollars into distressed areas known as opportunity zones. Senators Tim Cook and Cory Booker introduced legislation to create the zones, which ended up as a provision of the 2017 tax law signed by President Trump. The provision sets out to boost investment in the country's poorest areas by offering companies a 7-figure capital gains tax deferral. So you basically can defer your taxes by investing in Black communities or in urban communities. Let me see here, or these opportunity zones. They make the legislation race neutral. They don't like to do nothing specifically for Black people, so they use code words. They'll say urban areas or distressed communities. Those are the code words for Black. They're not allowed to really say Black anymore. That's just not what they are able to do. So here's where I am on that. Y'all know, investing is kind of my thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first of all say, I really think that this is awesome. Just him talking about it makes me really happy. And I think Ti has done an amazing job for the community. God bless him for that. Here is the thing you got to keep in mind when you talk about the Black superhero model of investing, or the Black Avengers, the Avengers of Black investing. I think that's what it was. Very colorful language. I love it. I'm an Avengers fan. I've seen all the Avengers. Anybody else seen all the Avengers Marvel movies? I'm a fan of that. I love all the two things I love that white people created are the Avengers and the Game of Thrones. But I love the Game of Thrones until the last episode came out, in which case I wanted to throw a brick at my TV and find some random person and throw them off my balcony, because the last episode was terrible, just in case you want to know. But every other episode was great. All right, so here's the thing. The thing about the Avengers concept, the Avengers of investing, is it sounds to me a lot like a Black superhero model of leadership. And it looks good and it's very, very cool. But the problem with the Black superhero model of leadership is that we've tried that before. Black folks get into a lot of hero worship. Rather than building institutions that can live forever, we tend to pick certain individuals and make them into these superhuman creatures in our head, where we really believe that these people can eat fire, they can fly, they can leap tall buildings in a single bound, they can lift the whole community on their back and carry all of us to the end zone. And so we tried this model before. We tried that before. Now here's the problem though, right? Look at Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was Iron Man, as T.I. said. He was one of the Black Avengers of investing. God bless him for that. Well, Nipsey had a lot going on, and he was doing a lot of amazing things, and Nipsey had some great dreams and plans, but it only took one hater, one son of a bitch by the name of Eric, what's-his-face. He had the same name as the Attorney General, Eric Holder. It only took one man, one hater, to not only kill Nipsey, but to kill all of his connections, all of his hopes and dreams, everything that Nipsey was going to do. Now, it doesn't mean the idea of Nipsey can't live. It doesn't mean that Nipsey's work can't be continued. But Nipsey's gone because one guy put one bullet in his head, and he's out of here, right? And God bless him for being the great man that he was. But this happens. It has happened to us before. Malcolm X was an amazing man who had a brilliant mind and extraordinary dreams and awesome plans for the Black community. It only took one trifling Negro in a crowd to run up with a gun and take him out. Martin Luther King was a great man who had great plans, with a great mind, who had a dream. He said, I have a dream, right? An extraordinary human being who led a movement that affected millions. But J. Edgar Hoover and his gay ass, because he used to wear those women's clothing, that's why I say his gay ass, and then he's an asshole. Nothing against gay people, but he just happens to be a gay asshole. J. Edgar Hoover knew that if he took out Dr. King, he could shut it all down. He could shut down the whole movement. So effectively, the problem is when you have this black superhero model of leadership, when you have the big target, you have an easy target. The Chinese have a saying that says, the fattest pig always gets slaughtered.